It's our pleasure to welcome now Mississippi State Senator Chad McMahan. He represents District 6, serves as the chair of Municipalities Cmte and vice chair Business and Financial Institutions Committee in the Senate. Senator, good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning, and good morning, Mississippi.
All right, so we wanted to visit with you to start with, just get your take on all of this violence and chaos and protests and just discord in our streets in America's cities, not really seeing the same in the state of Mississippi and some other states as well that are more Republican and red in nature. Is there a connection there, do you think?
I don't know. As chairman of municipalities, what's going on in our cities is very important to me. And I'm just appalled and shocked, as most law-abiding Americans are, when we see nationally what's taking place in so many of our cities. And Gerard, you look, the National Democrat Party, I cannot understand for the life of me why they are protecting illegal aliens and what is the resistance to law and order in this country. So as you know, this past Saturday, we had 7 protests, No Kings protest in Mississippi, from Tupelo to Jackson and across the state. But I'm happy to share with Mississippians that there were no arrests associated with those protests. And I think that really speaks to the culture of Mississippi, where we can still have debate and we can still disagree and argue without being violent and without taking it out on each other or taking it out on each other's property. So, I do support the right to assemble. It's a constitutional right as long as it's done peaceably. And I think, like I said, it really speaks to Mississippi. And I think it speaks to the way Mississippians respect law enforcement in the state as well. Our local police chiefs and cities. And so I
think you're right.
I really I appreciate that about being here in Mississippi.
Yeah. Agree. So what do you see, Senator, as some of the key challenges that municipalities are facing?
So some of the things that municipalities, so I'm going to break it into 2 segments. So there are roughly 300 cities in Mississippi. And for the vast majority of our cities, they are very small municipalities, less than 10,000 people. And so we need population growth in Mississippi. We're losing too many of our young people are leaving. When they graduate high school, they're graduating their communities in cities. And we need to be sure everything we're doing is creating a educational environment, a taxation environment, and an industrial base here in Mississippi that we can attract and maintain and keep our young people here in Mississippi. And we're doing that. Look at the companies, the worldwide companies that are coming to Mississippi to do business. Google, Amazon, General Atomics. By the way, 7 out of 10 warships for the United States Navy are built in Mississippi. We build the number 1 selling car in the world, the Toyota Corolla. It's really incredible, but that is one of the challenges. And then there's always challenges when you're losing population to maintain your infrastructure, your water, your sewer, and your roads. As your tax base decreases, you struggle to maintain that. So population growth takes care of a lot of problems. And there are some very bright spots in the state. Tupelo, very bright. Oxford, Gulfport. I love what's going on here in Jackson, in the Fondren, in the district over around Manship. And I do want to say I want to congratulate Senator Horn, my colleague, on being mayor-elect of Jackson. My hand is out to work with him. As a local Democrat, I want Jackson to be successful. I want all of our cities to be successful in Mississippi.
That's a good rundown there. So, and I agree with you. A key to improving the quality of life in our cities, I think, is to retain this fantastic talent, young talent, that are graduating from our high schools. Many are graduating from our fantastic community colleges and universities. But so many of them exit the state upon graduation.
It's merely economics. Young people, they have a lot of financial pressure on them. When you get out of school now, a lot of them are $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 in debt. And while they're young and most of the time not married, they want to maximize that right out of college. I've got a young man in the district that I represent. His name is Robert, but he's a young man. He's 26 years old, and he chose to go in the oil and gas business right out of high school. And he's been on 6 continents in 5 oceans, and he's only 27 years old.
Wow.
But it's a high-paying, high-yield income, but, it's good to do that if that's what you want to do while you're young and not married. But I'm looking for ways to keep families here in Mississippi and to have great career opportunities. And that's everything we're doing as conservative Republicans is about realigning the tax code, eliminating the income tax, and attracting business so that our young people do have these high-pay career opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. The Mississippi Municipal League has its annual conference. It's coming up in about a month.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen the agenda? Just curious, what are the hot topics you feel like they're going to be discussing?
I haven't seen the agenda. I will be attending as chair of municipalities. What's going on in these our cities is very important to me. I will be touring around the state some. I've already reached out to some mayors between now and the end of the year. But there are a lot of opportunities for all the newly elected aldermen and mayors. I encourage you to attend MML. It is a wonderful time to understand government. There are 3 types of city governments in Mississippi. You have a code government, you have a city council type of government, then you still have a commission form of government, which is pre-Civil War, and Vicksburg is the only city that still has that type. So there are 3 types of government. But you'll learn about the limitations of office and and the capabilities of the offices. So, Chairman Rushing and I, in the House, we have a luncheon, and we have an interactive luncheon. I welcome you to attend that luncheon. We share a few thoughts, and then we take questions. But I want our cities to be successful because at the end of the day, Gerard, where would Mississippi be without our 300 great cities? And let me take this opportunity to share something with you. According to DOR, 72% of the sales tax revenue generated in the state of Mississippi comes from municipalities.
Sure.
So that's why I've always supported reinvesting money back in our municipalities, especially the ones that are bright spots that are really attracting young talent and attracting companies.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So the MML, when we go down there and do the show, and I don't know if we're doing it this year, and I hadn't checked the calendar, but usually when I interview the mayors or aldermen or city officials, it's infrastructure is always top of mind. So you know this, a lot of the water, a lot of the roads, they're aging. Some are in disrepair. It's expensive, and they need renovation, and they need upgrading and improvement. But it costs money to do that.
That's right. When I talk with Mississippians, most Mississippians do not mind paying taxes for local projects. If a taxpayer can see that the roads are being paved, can see that their water turns on, they have clean water, to see that the sewer is properly operating, support and for local law enforcement, people don't mind paying for those services. But what's frustrating for myself and for other Mississippians is when we see money that's being misspent by agencies, when we see people tearing up our properties, when we see these riots across the country that's ultimately going to cost the taxpayer. That's what's frustrating. But yes, all cities, they all want infrastructure. And really, there's no Democrat or Republican way to pave the street. Yeah, sure.
So, but is it? Do you hear that as well, Senator? That's like a major concern because it's a big part of the responsibility and certainly the expense of operating a city is the transportation infrastructure and the water.
Yes, and my colleague in the House, Chairman Randy Rushing, wonderful chairman. I enjoy working with him. I really appreciate him. He has great ideas. He's always open. He and I have a great back and forth conversation. But we want to see more investments. And this year we did pass a House bill that created a bucket, if you would, a bucket of money that would have allowed for dilapidated property. So any city, if it's being held at the Secretary of State's office and it's dilapidated property, that they could go in, they could have gotten some grants. We did create the infrastructure. Unfortunately, with the passage of the budget this year, it did not get funded, but the framework is there for us to fund it next year, and I believe we will. There's also money in MDA, grant money available for our cities to do different types of projects, infrastructure being one of those, but unfortunately no money was placed in that either this year. But the framework is there and it's ready to go once the legislature makes the commitment to commit the money.
Okay, got